Yeah, so the issue and the thing we struggle with natural immunity is everyone's different, right? How old you are, what other health problems you have, what medications you take, and frankly, how big a dose of COVID did you get when you were infected? And so some people get infected, very mild symptoms, and they tend to have milder immune responses, and their protection probably doesn't last very long. And there's a study on the CDC website right now that looks into this and found that those individuals were much more likely to get COVID a second time. And so what we know about vaccination is that it gives you a more even and predictable immune response and an incredible amount of protection to someone who's had COVID before. And so we are encouraging individuals who've had COVID to get vaccinated. I understand the premise. We just think they're at risk for getting COVID again. Now, there's a lot to learn about all of this, right? The things move very quickly. We're talking about third doses of vaccine and then some future state, Delta variant specific boosters. And how does that fit into all of this? And who do we prioritize for the third dose and who do we not? And so we're working through all of that. But I think the message is if you've had COVID, your immune response is not as predictable as if you've been vaccinated, and you are at risk for getting COVID again. And so if you want to avoid that, it's worth getting vaccinated. Yeah, I think it's all those things. It's a little hard to tease out. Is it fear of the Delta variant, which I think drives some people to go ahead and make the decision? I think FDA approval is driving some of that, which is a good thing. I think mandates are driving some of that. So we've seen some increase in individuals coming in. I can't really tease. I think all of those things together are making the biggest difference. And I think they're also seeing, hey, I know a whole bunch of people have been vaccinated and they've done fine. And I've seen some people unvaccinated are now in the hospital. So I think all of those things play into people's thinking about it. And so we're glad when they make that decision. Yeah, another good question. So I think those things are predictable. I think, you get people in enclosed spaces together. And this Delta variant is so contagious, it's going to spread in schools. I think that can be managed with the interventions that have been put in place with masking and social distancing and those kind of things. But we will have those things. We know that other parts of the country last school year were able to get through the school year doing those things and managing those outbreaks and mitigating those things. So I think it can be done. We've certainly seen an increase in the number of children with COVID. We haven't seen a whole lot of hospitalizations in our system related to it, a few, but not nearly what we see in adults. So we certainly support mask mandates in school. We think it's a very important part of being able to stay in person. And, you may get instances where in a particular school, the outbreak is big enough that you have to go back to online learning for a few weeks to get through it. The way to avoid that is masking and social distancing and taking this seriously. And I think most school systems are doing that.